Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela, and on this topic we're going to talk about how narcissists always talk behind your back and God hurt them. Narcissists always talk behind your back. And this is very important because when people are talking bad about you, it's better to be alone than in bad company because they're speaking death of you. They're talking to their neighbor, their friends, speaking death upon your life. One thing that I never really understood about narcissism, at least when I always knew something was up, I just couldn't put my finger on it, right? I just knew something was off about a lot of people, and even when I was young. So one thing I've always realized about narcissistic people is that they talk behind your back, right? I came from a very big family where, everybody would be like, oh, we look up to your family. You guys have such a big family, and we would invite other people. And I think people loved coming around because they liked the idea of the family unit. But they didn't realize that they were also being manipulated and used by the family unit because it was for their own convenience to even befriend them. And they got close to a lot of good people. And what I noticed about a lot of the good people that came around is that they didn't have a big family. So they would come in and they would idolize that. And when they would leave, the family would talk about them, right? So there was a lot of gossip. Oh, well, that person, they came from, they would start talking about that person's, basically their sob story, what they went through in life, how they made it this far, how they found their other half and got married. So we would see a lot of couples. The good ones, they would always try to tear apart, oh, they didn't want to have any children. Oh, it's sad they're not going to experience what we experience with our children and having a big family. So compare themselves. And when I would meet these people, see, there would be good ones, there would be bad ones. The bad ones, they didn't talk about them. The bad ones kept a lot of stuff private. They wouldn't expose a lot of their dirt. The good ones spoke of what they've been through, the power of God. You could see their faith, right? And when I would see that faith, I would know, even as a kid, I would know that's genuine. I could feel that person's energy. I can tell by the way they treated me, right? No matter what they heard, they looked at me as a child, right? But if a narcissist, if my family said something about me behind my back, because narcissists talk behind your back, that person, even though they're an adult, they would treat me differently, right? So I could start telling the difference between a good and a bad person at a young age. And this is why kids can also see that in people at a young age. They're very good at feeling adults' energy. So I remember a lot of that because narcissists, they're like children in adult bodies. And even a child they don't look at that narcissist with respect. They look at that narcissist like, you're trying to behave like a grown-up, but there's something about you, there's something about you. You're not a real grown-up, right? It's like there's something about you, something that you didn't fix deep down in your soul about yourself. They watch you. They watch the way you talk about others. They watch if you talk bad about people. They pay attention if you're gossiping. They know the difference between, someone who is an adult who's just being silly or trying to fit in, and someone who is still in their world. Kids pay attention to that. They might not realize it then, but eventually they remember things as they get older, and they recall what this person was doing. And what a lot of these narcissists do is that they talk behind your back. They don't care for your child. They don't care that, they have children themselves. They don't respect boundaries. They don't respect marriages. They don't respect relationships, friendships. They don't respect family. So you can't take advice from these people because their story is different. They're not upfront with what really happened to them and how they came, just like I said, there were good couples that would come over, there were bad couples. They're not going to tell you, hey, I'm the person that stole everything from my family, and that's how we rebuilt our life. We left our family in the dust. We only looked out for ourselves. But the kind people, the ones that were genuinely good, I could tell the difference. They were working their way up slowly together. They might have not had much, but in the end, they had everything that they needed. And now these narcissists, they're going through it. Now they have to lie some more, pretending. I can't judge them. I don't know their story. I don't know how it's going to end up for them. I judge them. I can't talk about them behind their back. Right? So that's very important to know. You can't talk about them behind. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know their story. All you can do is help and guide people. Because they're like almost under a spell, Hey, if I see you on the other side, I'll see you on the other week. Come across paths. We're going to come across paths. I wish you well type of thing, right? I can't say nothing bad about that person. I can't wish bad into that person's life or assume that what's bad happening to them is because of themselves, right? I don't know. I don't know what's going on in that person's mind and their life, what they've been through. What I do know is that even in the end, I still wish life into them, because even when you get used, you know that you didn't really get used, because any energy that person has to give to others comes from you. So if they have energy for their kids now, they have energy for their family, for their job, it all stemmed from you. They probably felt like shit before you. So you're here giving life, and this person is laughing at you, thinking you're stupid and you don't know what you're talking about. Everything that narcissists do, it's all a tool just to use to talk bad about you. Even their arguments, even when they fight with you. I remember times where I wouldn't say anything, and I knew they wanted me to say something so they can blame it on me. And then people would say, she's not even saying anything. It's you talking to yourself. So they hate that, Everything is meant for you to basically be the talk of the town. If you're doing good, if you're doing bad, if you're doing worse than the narcissist, but you're at peace, the narcissist is still going to talk about you. Even the ones who feel like they've got it all together, it's like they'll talk behind your back, because they'll say, oh, it shouldn't be that hard to do this. It shouldn't be that hard to do that. Oh, if you really put your mind into, they're looking down on you like they're more intelligent, that they got more education even than you, right? Entitled. They have this something about them that is nasty. It's rotten. And it doesn't matter how much you try to make it shine. It just doesn't shine the way they're not glowing. You see them and it doesn't matter how beautiful they look. You see them and you're disgusted with them. Because they are people that are always talking about people behind their back, always judging others, always, you're jealous of me because of this or because of that, and you're not jealous of these people. You just live a whole different reality that you didn't even choose to be brought up on, and it is what it is, right? And you get to see how people think about each other and how people judge one another. So when you've made it to that level of consciousness, you see, wow, you got all these people talking about one another behind each other's backs. And then when you go online, you even get to see it. They'll just up front, they're speaking their mind, they're saying things, they're telling you their deepest fears, they're telling you their insecurities. You got other people with insecurities that are alike. You're clashing with one another. You're telling each other there's no solution, right? You just see a whole bunch of people going back and forth, and everybody wants to win that argument. You know, they want to win so bad by just creating lies. That's why this. I bet you this about you. I bet you that about you. And I've seen that where people even, it's like they're trying to tell you more about yourself. Like they know you more than you know yourself. Or they'll say something about you that's not even true. Or they don't even have an idea of who you even are. Just like not even the real you, just what the public sees. They don't even know that even what the public is seeing is not what it appears to be. The object in your rear view mirror may be much closer to knowing who you are than what you know about it. And you're looking at people and you're like, wow, these people are crazy. They'll talk behind your back. Some of them will mumble under their breath and say something to you in person. There's this hate, this entitlement. And it's like, you know that where that shit really stems from is their own insecurities. Like that's not even, if you're really happy, if you're really high vibrational and you're all this shit that you speak about and you're burning sage and Palo Santos and you're so spiritual, you're so positive and you're putting all these positive memes, and they're like Google. It has no identity because it's like, yeah, you could Google this shit. So it sounds good. A lot of the stuff narcissists say, it sounds good. They sound real. They sound like real people when you're with them. And when you're not with them anymore, you realize this person was never even a real person. They were just like artificially. It was like artificial. It was an artificial intelligence because it had a lot of information, but none of it they lived by. None of that information that they even spoke about, they didn't even live by it. They didn't even believe in it. They didn't really believe in it because they didn't really understand it as much as they thought they understood it. They didn't even realize that it's almost like a movie, and you can watch that movie a couple of times and you can pick up on a lot of things. But if the more you watch the movie, or maybe a couple years later when you grow intelligently more and you go back and watch that movie, now you see things in a different light that you didn't see it before, and you're like, how come I didn't see that then? So it becomes a classic, right? It becomes a classic. Because there's more than meets the eye, right? But when you're dealing with narcissistic people, it's not a classic. You know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with someone that the moment they're showing you that you can't grow, they're not speaking life into you. They're not speaking life into anyone around them. They want you to speak life into them. They don't want to give anything back. They don't feel like they owe you nothing. You know what I'm saying? When you see that someone is speaking death about you to your face, calling you things, and you tell them, hey, I don't like it when you say, I understand we're going to get angry, upset, but I don't like it when you say this to me or call me this. It makes me feel really bad because it's speaking death onto you to your face. That's why it makes you feel bad. You don't know that. You're like, I know it's just a word, but why does it mentally, physically, spiritually hurt? Because you wouldn't do it to them. You wouldn't speak evil to them, to their face or behind their back. You want to know the craziest part? The craziest part is that they know that. They know that you're telling the truth. They know that you're always telling the truth to them, even when it hurts. That's why they even stay around you. But you don't even know your own power. So what they do is that they gaslight you. And they feel like because they're treating you badly, you're going to tell other people because they're talking bad about you behind your back. So they think that's what you're doing. And when you tell them that you're not, and you're almost in tears, they actually believe you. They actually believe you. And it makes them feel good that you're holding all that shit inside while they're talking about you. Because that's the feeling that they live in with all the lies that they tell. That's what it feels like. They want you to know what it feels like. The narcissist will literally throw fits, go into rage, accusing you of all the things, like I've said many times, that they are doing to you. And all you'll do is keep trying to justify your story, trying to prove to someone that something never even happened when they already know it didn't happen. But they're trying to see if they can catch you in a lie, how far they can go until you break or until you admit to something that you didn't even do. That's why you'll get to a point where you'll think, well, am I the narcissist? Like he's very sure I am of it, right? But it gets to that point because that's who they are. All in all, another reason why narcissists push you to the edge when they're trying to transfer what they're doing onto you is that while they're accusing you of these things, they know you're innocent, but they are trying to see how far can they push you until you admit to that maybe it was you, or you tell a lie or something. They want to see how far they can push you, because when they get caught in their lies, they want to see how far they should keep going with their lie, because most people will just admit what they've done if they keep being questioned. But the narcissist is like, I can't be pushed until you have proof. So that means I could keep lying and make myself look truthful when I'm not. And that way I can start talking bad about you and put the blame on you. By the time you're done being questioned by the narcissist, the truth won't even matter to you. Trying to prove yourself won't matter to you. Trying to make them take any accountability won't matter to you. So once you throw the red flag, the narcissist feels like, okay, so I can basically keep lying until people throw the red flag and let me go. So they also feel like if they could keep confusing the conversation, they can manipulate people. Half the time when they're doing shit to you, you're so embarrassed to tell other people what they're doing because you're embarrassed because you already kind of know what people are going to say to you. You might tell people at first and then you realize, hey, people don't feel sorry for me. They feel like this person's toxic, or they might be using me, or they're just too into themselves, or they feel like this person has a personality disorder. People will tell you many different things. So you get to a point where you don't even want to embarrass yourself telling no one anything. You keep shit inside. So the narcissist speaks death to you to your face. The things that they say to you when you have accomplishments, and they're trying to devalue your accomplishments. They're telling you you're not capable of being this, you're not capable of doing that. oh, my sister is better than you at this, you're not really that good. They start comparing you to people, and then when you bring it up to them, like when they're on some positive shit, right? Because see, when they get on this positive shit, that's not even the real them, and you know that. But you fell for it many times too, because you want them to be that. But they're imitating what a good person does, or what a good person, you start to see that everything is imitation. They're like imitation crab. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'll eat it, but it's not really that good. They're not really that good. This person doesn't really talk well about you. So, but when they're positive, you think, oh, maybe they could be like, maybe this is someone they could be all the time. But no, you know deep down inside, this is not who they are all the time. So when you bring it up to them, hey, you were speaking death into my life. You said, when shit backfires on you, now they feel good. Pay attention. You weren't paying attention then, right? Your plans don't go as planned. But now they're in a good mood and they're giving you even good advice. Oh, don't even worry about that. It wasn't even meant to be. If it was meant to be, it would have happened. This, that. And then you kind of start feeling some animosity there. Because then you start thinking like, oh, why couldn't they be this supportive when I was going through this? Instead, they were making me feel like shit. And that's why I couldn't test high, right? You'll think, oh, I couldn't test high. And then they sat here and compared me. Oh, you'll never be successful like my sister. You'll never be like my mother. You'll never be. So you'll bring up shit that they said. And you'll be like, if you wouldn't have talked to me like that, maybe you realize that words are powerful, right? And you start thinking like, if you wouldn't have said this to me, I probably wouldn't have done this, or I probably wouldn't have made these choices. So when you start to realize, I probably wouldn't have made certain choices or certain moves, or I would have focused more on certain things, and you bring it up to their attention and you're like, why were you doing this? Why were you doing that? Why did you tell me I wasn't going to amount to this? Why were you comparing me to this person, comparing me to your ex, or why were you comparing me to other people? What's crazy is that they'll say, oh, I didn't say that. No, you took it the wrong way. Oh, I just said that because I was mad, if that's how you feel. Because you realize that you spoke death into my life, and then death happened. Like, you've messed shit up. But then I can't really technically blame it on you because it's all me. So I'm doing this to myself. So then the narcissist is kind of like, yeah, so you're doing it to yourself. It's on you. It's on you, right? No one's asking me. Now you're getting it. I'm the problem. Then if I'm the problem, and you gotta find a solution to the problem, then get rid of me, right? Because I'm death, and I'm gonna keep speaking death into your life. And anytime you tell me I'm doing something or I did something, I'm gonna gaslight you, because you're doing it to yourself. I was once like you. People spoke death into me, and I didn't know what was happening to me when they were speaking death. So death just kept following me, and hey, I'm death now. Look at me. People spoke death into my life and killed who I was supposed to be. What I wanted to be. I didn't ask for this shit. Now I got death following me at all times. Oh, you're mad because I brought death into your life? I don't care. I've been dead. So I'm going to keep talking death into your life because guess what? It gives me energy. It gives me fuel. And by the time you decide to say anything, guess what? I've already spoken death into everyone, and everyone has listened to me, and they believe me because I got all the power. I've been speaking death about you, about this relationship a long time ago. I knew it would come to an end, and when it comes to an end, you were going to leave not having anything, and I was going to leave gaining everything because I have nothing to lose. I'm death. That's literally what it feels like when you're with a narcissistic person. They speak death into your life. It was the most hardest thing for me to actually deal with, to understand, to even forgive, because that tongue of the narcissist is vicious. I always knew that they talked behind people's backs. I saw it, how it's like it was nonstop, you know. I would see the party go from being 100 people to 50, 30, 20, 10 are helping, cleaning up, getting the last of everything cleaned up. And now there's only 5 people in the room. And now there's 2. The ringleaders. And it's like it was just data being collected from everybody. It's what fuels the narcissist. Words fuel the narcissist. What you tell them, your secrets. They bend everything you say. They misinterpret everything you say. Anything you say to them will be held against you, because to them, even though we all go through things, you almost become not a real person to them when you share things with them. Because to them, they feel like if you were dumb enough to share this with me, then even though they share things with you too, but they fabricate their stories, so they always feel like they're not even being completely 100% honest anyway, even though they're telling you some half-truths about their story, but they're not telling you what they did in the end to surpass these things, and it wasn't God. So to them, when you're speaking honesty, it actually disturbs the demons inside of them. They get disturbed by your truth, because your truth actually is projecting back onto them the empath's version of what really happened. The shit that they've done to people, it's like projecting back onto them how the person that the people they wronged feel. So they automatically need to start talking bad about you, because they almost feel like you're going to be out to get them. They're like, oh, you're going to figure my shit out. I don't know how much you know, but every time I run across people like you always see the real me. You see that I'm not really the good person I'm portraying to be. So they almost have to, like on the last video I made, I put the narcissist accuses you of all the things that they are doing to you. They almost have to start talking bad about you, because they feel like that's protecting themselves. Like, oh, I gotta start making up lies, because eventually you guys are gonna catch up to my lies or my history, or you're gonna start to study me and you're gonna see that I'm not who I portray to be, and that's gonna make me feel uncomfortable. So because then I'm gonna feel like when I share my fake stories and shit, you're going to be able to decipher through my stories, and like God is going to tell you the real story in your head, even though you don't really truly know the real story. Is like God is going to just tell you the real story, like, nah, this bitch is lying, this is what really happened, and then she did this and that's how God will just start telling you shit. So they always have to talk behind your back and make up stories and say things about you, and a lot of times, sometimes You don't even plan on doing nothing to these people or exposing them. Sometimes you don't even care about, you're not even out to target this person in any, you don't have a reason to. You don't have nothing to gain, lose from it. But they almost feel like once they sense your spirit, they feel like it's you or them because they've been running from karma. So if you guys haven't checked out, the narcissist, they accuse you of everything that they're doing is because they're running away from karma. And they've been running away for a long, long time. So Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, what I like about this Bible verse, it says, and anytime what's crazy is anytime you think about something, just like, oh, the narcissist people, they're always talking behind our backs type shit. Anytime you think about stuff that they're doing, there's always a Bible verse to it. So on Proverbs chapter 18, verse 21, it says, death and life are in the power of the tongue. Think about it. You could speak death into someone's life by just talking crazy, right? Or you could speak life into someone's life. When you speak life into people, you'll be surprised at how far they come. A lot of times people do not make it far in life is because there's people around them, their own family, that are speaking death onto you before you even get a chance. You know what I'm saying? They'll start talking about you as a kid. You're basically in hell as a child already. Like they're already trying to determine the outcome to your life. They're trying to speak death. Maybe they feel like their life is surrounded by death. So there's no way someone that has life can speak life into you. So people a lot of times around you, they're dead. They're the walking dead. So death and life are in the power of the tongue, right? This is why certain people, they don't need a big family. All they needed was a good parent, right? All they needed, hey, I didn't have a big ass family. You'll be looking at certain people that did come from big families and their whole family breaks down apart in the end because of the power of death in the tongue. And that last person is standing with everything, with all the heirlooms and they're carrying on. They think they got the prize, they won the lottery and shit, and then later on you see that everything they thought they stole, they received back that karma through many different things in a very spiritual way, because everything that you got wasn't fruitful. It came based on lies. It came based on bashing another sibling, another person. A lot of times these people didn't even do nothing to you, personally to you. And the moment you started to manipulate, you basically had the power of death. You try to control people to submit to you as you being right and others being wrong, knowing you were wrong. So you're speaking death onto everyone around you, including yourself. Because death and life are in the power of tongue. If you're speaking death into others, you're also speaking death onto yourself. You're doing everything for your children. That's why you think you should do wrong to others. They don't understand your struggle. They don't do this. They don't do that. Oh, I didn't have time to do that. Oh, I didn't get to go to college. Guess what? You're speaking death into your own family. You're speaking death. The moment you talk about someone's child, oh, that child is ugly. There's even people who have publicly humiliated children, and people think it's okay. And guess what? You're speaking death into your own child. You leaving that comment, talking bad about somebody online, you speaking bad about people because you think, oh, you're in disguise, you got a fake profile picture, you think, oh, I'm not going to bump into this person, and then you bump into them in the grocery store, and it's a small world. And then you're looking at that person like, oh, I didn't think I would bump into that person. And then that person doesn't say anything to you. They might say that you might get back what you dished out because you spoke death. Now that person might do something, or that person might not do something, but it's a sign from the higher being, from a higher being telling you, you need to watch your mouth. So death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat in its fruit. Those who love it will eat in its fruit. So anyone who speaks of life is always going to be fruitful, meaning that you'll always have, you can't be greedy. Oh, look at what they have more than me. Oh, they have this, they have that. It means you will be fruitful. It means that you will at least have peace. You'll be fruitful. You'll have what you need. You know what I'm saying? You'll at least have what you need. You'll have fruits. And guess what? There's those period of times that you ran out of fruits, but you know that you'll have fruits again. You know what I'm saying? People who are speaking death, they're not fruitful people. You know, when you give like you just give. You don't even care. You don't even think about it. Oh, I got all these shoes. I got these slippers. I got this purse. I don't use none of this. This is brand new. Hey, my friend's in town. Hey, you can have all this stuff. You're just a fruitful person. And then now someone turns around and gives you the same things you gifted someone else, and you're wondering, how the fuck did that happen? Like, is this a coincidence? Because you can't lie to God. If you're someone who pretends to be good, like narcissists do, yeah, they can win the lottery, they can hit the lotto, but let's see how quick it will last, because it's going to come with the price. When you are fruitful, it's not going to come with the price. It's a gift from God. It's free. Fruits are free. They don't come with nothing. But when you're a narcissist, everything you get that's fruitful is going to come with a price, because and the narcissist thinks by sacrificing you that was enough. They don't, oh, I sacrificed them so I don't have to pay for what I did. But sacrificing you has nothing to do with what they did. And this is why sometimes they might even give you breadcrumbs after they think they sacrificed you, and they might say, here's some fruit, I got you a bag of fruits, here, you can have this, look, I gave you a bag of fruits, do what you want with it. Here, I gave you some flowers, thank you, I'm sorry for using you, I won't bother you no more. That's why you won't hear from me anymore, because they think everything is going good for them, and they feel like, oh, if I do something that's generous, then after I try sacrificing you, I don't have to keep using you anymore, because everything's going my way. I'm getting blessed. Here, I even got you a bag of fruits. Here, you should be good on your way to go. Here, carry your little pole with your little bag of fruits and hit the road, right? They're telling you to hit the road, Jack. It's all good. No love lost. They tell you no love lost. We just can't be together anymore. It's okay. I'm still love you. We're just not good for one another. It's not you, it's me. It was definitely me. I'm trying to change, and in this new journey that I'm on, you just can't come with me because I'm on a spiritual journey. Right? You get with certain narcissists, they try to act like they're on a spiritual journey and they can't take you with them, right? They feel like, oh, yeah, I was willing to do everything to sacrifice you, even to the point of death. You know, I wouldn't have gave a damn if you would have died. You know, I was ready to suck you dry. But now that things are going my way, I'm going to leave you alone and I'm going to let you live. I'm going to stop torturing you. I'm going to stop torturing you. Because I'm getting everything I want now. I don't need to talk behind your back and try to, do anything to you. I got what I wanted. I was just doing that because I was desperate. I'm good now. Right? I don't gotta speak death into you. I never even spoke death into you. That's a lie. Now they're gaslighting you. That's a lie. Right? They don't feel bad. They feel like, hey, I was desperate. Now I'm good again. You don't gotta worry about me. You could be fruitful again. And you're looking at them like you done took everything. You done left this tree dry. There's no fruit. There's nothing to give. I have nothing. I have no fruits. I don't even know when's the next time it's going to rain. Really, my roots are fucked up. I don't even think my roots are going to live. I think this tree is, you just going to have to pull it out. It's dead. That's what you think, right? That's how you feel. Like someone ran off with everything that was precious about you and made it seem like you were the disgusting person, right? You were the low down person. They were speaking death onto you because that's who they were. And then when they leave, they almost feel like they're doing you a favor. Like, it's not that bad what I did, and anything that I did, you basically deserved it. You deserved it because you were talking bad about me to other people. And you're like, no, I wasn't. Your family knew stuff about me that they shouldn't even have known. Because when stuff happens to you, I don't even want to, I'm too embarrassed to tell my family. What, so they'll say things about you and make up lies and have you looking bad. And then the people around them are building the hate towards you along with the narcissist. Because they're all talking bad about you. And now the narcissist even believes their own lies. And they're telling you what others are saying about you. And how they really shouldn't even be talking to you anymore. Because you're the bad person. And then you start believing maybe I'm the bad person. I'm telling you, the devil is the deception of all lies. He is a liar. He was a liar from the start. And he was lying, talking about you from your back from the start. And I'm telling you now, that motherfucker didn't stop. That person never stopped. A lot of these people that you even grow up with, they were talking about you from the start, even as a kid, and it never stopped until adulthood. They even continued. It didn't matter how old you got, they continued because they've been a liar from the start. They've been dying. They've always been they've been living in death. That's why it doesn't matter how many holidays and vacations they go to. They're miserable people. They can't even enjoy the scenery. They can't enjoy God. Just meditating with God because they don't even hear God. They don't even hear God's voice. You're dealing with dead people. Matthew chapter 12 verse 37, for by your words you will be justified, and by your words you will be condemned. By your words. And guess what? By your words, before you even say anything, guess what? You're thinking it. That's why it's coming out of your mouth. So when you're trying to lie to God, you can't lie to God because God knew your thoughts before you even said your lie. So no matter how much you lie to others and lie to yourself, a lie is still a lie. So the narcissist condemns themselves, and it doesn't look that way. It always looks different because that's the idea. That's what most of them want you to see. But when you look at their eyes, you can see the torment behind their eyes. They're trying to remain cool, calm, and collective, like they say. But you could see something in their eyes. I told you guys, lying, when you lie, it makes you paranoid. When you lie, you don't feel good about yourself. A lot of people lie because it's beneficial for them. But when you know, hey, it's not gonna make me feel better because I'm not gonna feel like I deserved it. And not only that, but then you gotta worry about being caught in the lies. So now something that started off as a small lie keeps growing, and now you're just looking like a liar. And it's hard to keep track of your lies, and the more you talk, the more you sound stupid. And then because you sound stupid, you feel stupid. And then because you feel stupid, you're trying to not look stupid. So now you want to control other people. And then when you're trying to control people, you look like a maniac. So you become even more of a greater psychomaniac. And then the guilt is killing you, and the shame is like all over your eyes and your face. You're just a walking shameful ball of shit. And you're trying to sparkle butterflies all over and try to make it seem like it's a cotton ball of candy, and it's not. Your energy reeks, and you're trying to make it seem, and then you got this like fake reality of what someone likable is, like this fake version of this person. So you'll do little things or little jokes, or you'll laugh a certain way. You think doing certain things is going to attract a person, so now everything you do is kind of robotic. And then when you know it's robotic, you're like, oh, I got to make it not look robotic, so I got to seem natural. And now you just look like an asshole. And then you're like, okay, I'd rather look like an asshole than look dumb. But you looking like an asshole makes you look dumb. And then you're like, oh, well, if that's the case, I'm going to be I'm going to be the greatest asshole out here. Like, something is really wrong in the minds of these people, and it's really actually sad. Like, to me, it's sad. It's like something psychological. It's almost like something psychologically wrong. Like, there's something psychologically wrong, and it's kind of sad because it's like a lot of things of this world are created for people to behave this way. So you don't really know which is worse, because that's basically the software. And if you're not part of the software, then something's wrong with you. And what's crazy is that there's so many narcissists that they think that we're the weird ones. They're like, oh no, they talk behind our backs, and they think we're the weirdos. They're like, oh, they're the weirdos. And they're like, no, you're the weirdos. No, you're the weirdos. And it's like, I'm just not going to say nothing because I'm not going to get anywhere. There's no point on even saying anything anymore, because that's all narcissists do, is just talk behind each other's backs in front of your face. But a lot of times you didn't even realize how much they talk behind your back. Like, you wouldn't think that you would be the center of their conversation. You wouldn't even think that. These people are sleeping with you, having children with you, and you wouldn't even think these people talk about you as much as they do. This is a very tormented person, because by the time they learn the lesson's over with, and now they're tormented by the lesson. And instead of them learning from the lesson, they're so afraid that they'll just keep going into another situation, because they don't want to learn the lesson, even though it's happening right in front of them. They feel so much embarrassment and shame for looking like a fool, even, because some of these people, they've been through the same shit you went through. The difference is that they decided to go and go to the next supply and do to other people what was done to them. And every now and then they go back to a narcissist, they go back to a Jezebel spirit, what they're attracted to. And when they get played, they go back to playing other people. Oh, I'm gonna start being mean now. The next female I'm with, I'm gonna dog her out. It doesn't matter how nice. It doesn't matter if I start ruining her life. Because I made mistakes. I fell in love with the Jezebel spirit. I had a child by the Jezebel spirit. She's draining my pockets. She took everything. I'm not free. I'm not a free person. I can't travel and do the things I want to do. I feel like, someone got their hooks on me. So guess what? Next person that comes along, I'm going to put my hooks in them. And I won't give a damn if that person ends up sick, mentally, physically, if they lose everything, if they lose their family, if I drain them of all their energy, if I make them ill. I don't care what happens to them. I was treated like I wasn't a real person, so why should I care about you? Nobody's looking out for me, so why should I look out for you? That's what you're dealing with. And while they're doing this, they're talking behind your back. They're telling people every time you do a good deed, they're talking about you. Oh, I used this person for this. I got this out of this person. I stole this from this person. You would be shocked. A lot of times we love the narcissist, but if we actually knew the shit that they talk about behind our back and heard it with our own ears. And that's the thing. God heard what they said behind your back. You didn't. That's why you'll still cling on to them. Even when you do have an idea that they might be talking behind your back, it's such a sick feeling to still feel like you love somebody. Even when you know they're talking behind. At some point, you're going to know that they're talking about you, and you're going to not care because you're going to see the good part of them, and you're going to want the good part of them to be real, even though the back of your head is telling you the good part is fake. The evil part is the real them. Because God is showing you what a sick person really looks like. You cannot be deceived by good deeds, because how you treat people says enough. It doesn't matter how much they go and they're nice to other people and not you. If you can't treat that one person that is being fruitful to your life, who's bringing you life, if you can't be good to that person, how can you go around how can you try to bring life into yourself using other people if you're not maintaining the grass you have already? If you can't maintain your own grass, how can you go seek out if the grass is greener on the other side? What the fuck you gonna do with that grass if you can't even maintain your own grass? And by maintaining your own grass, you have to be giving it life, giving it minerals, and you're not giving it life when you're using someone, when you're manipulating someone to bring life into your grass, when your grass was burnt up and this person had everything you needed to make it grow, and they've been nourishing your grass back to life because you were at the point of death. And now when you see, there's all kinds of grass out here. There's exotic grass. This one, it stays really good and green and, in humid places. I'm gonna get this, right? Grass is greener over there. But if you never knew how to maintain your own grass and give life into those who gave you life, how can you try to go give life onto people that it seems like everything is good over there, and then you get over there and you realize they don't even know how to maintain the grass they have. They're not even doing it. It was a facade. It drew you in, but they don't even know if they were to get cut off and they said, I gotta go with you, And then by the time you get back, they're like, oh, what happened to your grass? Oh, I haven't been over here. I was with you. Okay, well, what you gonna do about this grass? Tell your parents to help us. They gotta greener grass. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened to people that talk behind your back. And they're talking about you. Oh, you don't even got grass. I left you with nothing. I just used you to come maintain mine. And now they might have left you with nothing, but you got all the tools to make it in life. You got all the tools. You know how to cultivate. You know how to grow. You know how to plant. You know how to give love and cherish what you do have. Right? So that's how you speak life. And once you start speaking life into your own life, you can let, just by speaking life into your own life, you're speaking life into others' lives as well. By taking care of yourself, you're taking care of other people. By people seeing your journey and understanding what you've been through, you're helping them as well. So sometimes it's better, you're better off, cultivating your own grass, growing your own plant, than being with someone that is just here to just pick fruits and treat everybody like supply until they run out. And they don't know how to grow. They don't have anything. They're not being blessed with anything. They feel like they're gods. And if you feel like you're a god, you got to go take. You feel like, oh, you're entitled to everybody's lives and the outcome of their life. You feel entitled to everybody's shit because you're not living in your own truth. And then when you decide to live in your own truth, you try to use other people as motivation to why you even deserve anything. So you better believe that the same people that talk bad about you, you become their motivation to even become anything. They think about all the bad shit that they did, and they think, oh, if I was able to destroy someone that low and they got up, then I should be good. Or I destroyed them way worse than, they lost more than me, so I should be good. They compare you. Their tongue, they got a sharp tongue. It never stops. Even their thoughts are poisonous. You hear me? Even their thoughts are poisonous. James chapter 3 verse 8, it says, but no human being can tame the tongue. It is a restless evil full of deadly poison. No human being can tame the tongue. Everyone sins. It's hard not to sin. When you try to live like God, you realize it's not as easy as it seems. Sometimes you just want to make a smart remark, or sometimes you might say something and then wish you could take it back because you know it's not who you are. Sometimes, you jump into conclusions, or you might be mistrusting, or you might feel like you can't even speak your mind anymore because you know that can draw in someone to disagree. And even though you can take the opinions and listen, you're aware that a lot of people that speak, it's usually to be in control. So you almost feel like you don't want to speak, but then you become suspicious to people when you don't speak, and you understand their suspicion because the narcissist is also aware of this. The narcissist is manipulating people because they know when to speak and when not to speak. They know when they can talk crazy to you and when they can't talk crazy to you. They know when it's beneficial, when it's not beneficial. They are aware that silence is also power. They look at it like they're observing everyone's energy, and in the end, they're going to want to be moved by what they have to say. So to them, it's power. This is why they love taking your energy. Once they convince everyone that they are higher of intelligence because they're mimicking what a peaceful person actually, how a peaceful person in power actually behaves like. So they feel like by imitating that, people can tell them their secrets, and they'll have control over them. And that way, when they speak about you, they almost feel like, who are these people going to believe me or you? They're going to believe me because I've gained their trust. They tell me everything about themselves. Let them say what they want to say. They got to pay for every word. Sometimes it's better just to not say nothing at all. You got more power not saying anything. Always want to speak your opinion. Who cares? Oh, we're just talking. We're just debating. Fuck debating. Who cares? Just going back and forth for what? Not gonna win. You're just debating. Going back and forth. Speaking death back and forth. Killing each other off, right? So it's very important, that we understand that these people, whenever you start thinking about them or, wishing things could be different or maybe you could have been different. No, you got to think about it. Even if you wish you could have been different or you wish you would have known more, or you feel like maybe if you behaved or knew what you knew now, you know what I'm saying? No. Because even knowing what you know now, think about it. Knowing what you know now, you don't go out of your way to go mess with people. Knowing what you know now, right? Especially now, when you get deep into your consciousness, the physical don't even matter. What if someone got to offer you, you're gonna have to pay for it. Anything that you sitting here playing games and stuff, you have to pay for it one way or another. Some people are willing to pay the price, just like the narcissist, right? But to some of us, we don't care about that. We rather be alone. We rather not be around fake people. Because it takes too much of our energy. We don't have that type of energy to give anymore. Like, we're preserving our energy because so much energy was taken away from just one narcissist. It's like one narcissist was like raising fucking 10 kids all in one. This person had multiple personalities. You don't even have that type of energy to give to people and their lies and their BS, right? You don't got time to convince people of what the hell's going on. All you can do is tell people, warn people, share your experiences, share how you got through it, the pain you experienced, the pain you still go through is just not as deadly as it once was, because when it was happening, you were speaking death onto yourself. You were wishing you could die, right? You were speaking death. And then eventually you're like, no, I want to live. I want to be a new me. I want to be a new version of who I am. I still got things to do. I still want to do certain things. I'm still here for a reason. I got to look out for the people closest to me. I got to watch out for people that I care about, that I do have. I got to, maybe my purpose is this. So your mind you go through a lot of different obstacles, but it's very hard to hate the narcissist, or sometimes it's hard to wonder what things could have been like, because you think about the good. There's still these good memories that's hard to get rid of. And that's why I think understanding that someone was speaking death about you constantly, sometimes this is why they even expose themselves and talk crazy to you, because to them it almost justified, oh, if I talk crazy to you to your face, then you better believe I'm talking like this behind your back. Like, so and what's crazy too with these people is that the moment you speak up for yourself to people and you give people an idea of who the narcissist is and what they're doing, they know that, hey, I knew the narcissist was lying. Especially people who've been around the narcissist for a long time. A lot of times they believe the stuff the narcissist is saying, but the moment you speak up, they always had a feeling, you know what I'm saying? Especially the people closest to them, they always had a feeling that this person was lying. So when they hear you speak, shout, cry, they know, like, nah, everything you've been saying about this person, you made it seem like they were probably sneaking around behind your back, but no, they see the tears, the passion, they see the love, and they know that love like that does not exist and it doesn't come around easily. So when they see someone is really hurting in tears like that, they know, like, oh no, this person ain't putting on a show because they did something. They're expressing themselves because you're hurting them. They could tell the difference between someone who is putting on a show because they just want their needs met, like the narcissist does, right? But this person is literally, they don't got nothing to gain from being with you. You got all to gain. They know that they know the narcissist has more to gain than you have to gain from them. So they start to see, oh no, the narcissist has been saying they're using you. The narcissist has been saying this or that. So everything the narcissist says about you doesn't justify their actions in the eyes of other people. It doesn't justify their actions. So the narcissist will make up stories to people and tell them, oh, this is why I'm using them, because they're this, they're that. They're making up stories or telling lies. They're speaking death onto your life. But the true matter of it all is, most people, they might not say anything, they might not get involved, but they know, hey, what this person is doing just doesn't justify it. Like, if they're not into you, they shouldn't even be around you. You know what I'm saying? If someone doesn't like you, they don't like the way you think, they're not physically attracted, there's no reason they should even be around you. But the narcissists, these are the type of people that they're in it they don't care who they destroy, as long as they're getting their needs, their supply and demand, because, like I said, God is not fruitful with them. You can't expect someone who's not chosen by God, who doesn't want to do the right things, who keeps going against God, even though God has showed them in many different ways that he does not approve of certain things. And you can't expect anything fruitful to come of this person. You can't expect their next relationship ventures. You can't expect anything to come good of that money that they stole. All good money is not good money. They can lie to themselves, but they know what they're doing is wrong. And nothing fruitful. They have to pay one way or another, And I say this because as human beings, people are just really disgusting. So I have two birds, I've told you guys before. And I know this is so freaking random, but I wanted to add this in the video before I end it. So sometimes I feel like my birds kind of speak to me telepathically and they say things to me, but I was speaking death. I was saying something because I knew they have food, but they love their little snacks or whatever. So I'm like talking, right? I was like, you guys are just like children, right? Throwing tantrums because you want your snacks or whatever. And I'm like, you guys don't need to be eating no damn snacks every day. Like, I'm gonna go get you some snacks later type of thing. I'm just talking crap, right? But they understood everything I was saying. That was the crazy part. It's like they knew what I was saying, and then I felt like they started speaking to me telepathically. So one of the birds likes to put seeds into their water. So the bird, I was going to clean the water out, and the bird basically was like, stop throwing out my water. And I'm like, why? Because I'm trying to tell you that the seeds can sprout. So then I'm looking at the water, and I start looking at the seeds. I'm looking at the bird. Like, I think my birds, right, are speaking to me telepathically. But it's happened many times, and I'm pretty sure people who have pets can relate, where you just know, they know what you're saying, you know what they're saying. It's almost human-like, and it's that closeness that you even feel when you're with a narcissist, because you feel like that person is in your head. That's why it feels so jacked up when it feels like someone came and hijacked your mind like that, right? With bad intentions, just collecting data to get into your mind. So I felt like, okay, like my birds have tapped into my mind. They're basically telling me, stop throwing out the water because it's sprouting out seeds. As you can see, there's seeds. Like, stop talking shit about the snacks when all you have to do is plant these outside, and we'll have a lot of them, and you won't have to complain. So the bird is telling me all this, and then I'm like, damn, you're smart. I'm looking at the seeds, looking at them, looking at the little roots growing on the seeds, and I was like, damn, you're smart. And then he's looking at me like, yeah, duh, like everyone can eat, like not just us, even the birds outside. Like, also, it's almost like they were also thinking about others, right? And I said, wow, like that's beautiful. Like, not just for you, but for everyone. Like, once their snacks start to sprout, there's going to be enough, not just for them, for me to harvest, but I could leave some there just for the birds outside so that they can eat, right? So I'm like, wow, like that's beautiful. Like, he's thinking about other birds, even though they're not the same type of birds, but he knows, hey, they will also, they get to, so even in nature, yes, there's survival of the fittest. There's, certain animals eat each other and things like that. But it's when greed takes over that it becomes a problem, right? Because if they're going after, say there's a carnivore going after another animal, he's not just going to hunt that animal down for himself. He's going to bring that animal and feed others, feed his tribe, feed his children. When animals go hunting, they're hunting for a reason, not just for themselves, for their family, right? It's for life, for life. So that's when you realize everything about human beings, everything that we do should be to give one another life. But we do the opposite. We bring death. We talk. We gossip. We have freaking pages where people, post and chat about one another and talk about people's outfits and celebrity news, and even, the news channels. It's just people bashing the president, bashing this person, bashing that person. It's like, even in the music, it's like negative frequencies. Death is literally everywhere when you're in the matrix, right? It's just death. But when you're not in the matrix, you see life. You see animals, how they communicate. the powers that they have that humans don't even use, and we're supposed to be more intelligent than them, right? We're supposed to be more intelligent than animals, but somehow these animals are smarter than people, and it's actually kind of crazy because people have no control over themselves and their mind because they're fully controlled. And when you're coming across narcissists, you're wondering, well, why is this robot getting away with it? Because they live in the matrix. Of course, when you're not in the matrix, you're not getting away with nothing. They're in the matrix. And when they get out, it's going to be a rude awakening. It's going to be a rude awakening, And I realized, I said, that's crazy. I'm like, everything about life, the whole purpose of life is just to give life onto others however you can. You don't even realize it's the smallest things that you do, just speaking life into people. That's the bare minimum. That's the least you could do, right? That's the bare minimum. Speaking life is free. That shit is free. So imagine how fruitful people would be if they just spoke life into one another. Everybody would just be fruitful. Everybody would be on the same page. But they're not. They're not. It's death everywhere. Right? And I went outside and I'm looking at my tree, and I have an orange tree, and there was these little flowers coming out. And I don't think I ever really paid attention because the last couple of times that my tree sprouted oranges, I didn't really think I didn't really pay attention and saw the flowers. But this time, it already gave oranges like 3-4 times. I can't even recall anymore. But I'm looking at the tree and I'm like, those are some pretty flowers. I was like, how come I never noticed you guys before, right? I was like, that's strange. I'm like, I didn't notice these flowers before. So they're called orange blossoms, blooms, right? Orange blossoms, because they're going to bloom. They're going to give birth to oranges. So orange blossoms. I said, oh, that's, pretty name, orange blossoms. And they're going to give birth. They're going to blossom into oranges. And I said, wow. I said, they're all so different. I mean, the tree, right? I'm thinking about the roots, the tree, the stems, the leaves, the orange blossoms, the oranges. I said, they're all so different. And they work for different things. Just like people, just like families. We're all so different, but we all have a purpose. We all have a different purpose, whether we know it or not. We don't even know what the purpose is, but the purpose is life. Whether we get along, we don't get along, whether we're the complete opposites. It's all for life. We're all connected. We're all one, species, right? We're all one human race. So I'm thinking like, wow, that's so beautiful that we're all, we're like the oranges, right? We all serve a different purpose. The leaves, the stems, the roots, everything's just very different, but the end results is the oranges. And I'm like, without the leaves, if the leaves end up drying, the tree's gonna die, right? During summertime, it's not getting enough water, the leaves start getting dry. That's the first sign you're not gonna give any fruits. Your tree is dry, and if you don't water it, it's gonna be dead. So that's what happens a lot of times in families. The greed takes over, and guess what? It's not going to be fruitful for nobody. You're taking from others, or you're taking from yourself. The narcissist thinks he gets over on everybody that helped him achieve the oranges. But once he finishes those oranges up and he looks back, she looks back, everyone who worked together to create those oranges isn't around, or the people around them that they spoke death into, now they don't have anything to give. And the narcissist has nothing to give themselves because they were dependent on people for life source energy. They couldn't achieve listening to the voice of God, so they use empaths to know what was God up to. What is God up to? What has God figured out about me? How much does God knows? Oh, God knows everything about me now. Okay, well, I'm gonna just expose myself. I don't want to be this way. But you know the reasons you are this way, and you know the things you got to stop doing. You just don't want to admit to that. You might admit to it, but you're not going to stop. It's not as easy as it looks. Think about it. If it's hard for the empath, how hard do you think it's going to be for the narcissist? This is why a lot of times you got to be careful to people that they might be speaking life. They might be speaking life into you. It might sound good, but they might be also speaking death onto you because they're making you look at them as one way. Like things could be different. They're giving you false hope. They're giving you false hope. Because after you've been with a narcissist long enough, you know that, hey, you're barking up the wrong tree. This tree right here has been dead for a long time. There's no fruits coming out of it. This tree, the spirit in this person is going to go from person to person trying to steal those people's fruits, their blessings. Everywhere the narcissist goes, they're stealing people's blessings. Everything that people are blessed with, they slowly are going to be taken. Anything that person has is going to be taken away. And if that person is defending the narcissist's past, or that person is making fun of the last supply, thinking they're better, oh, it's going to come down hard on you. Real hard. You're going to be forced to see what the other people have went through. You're going to be forced to see it. And you might think, oh, it's cool because it's me now. It's my turn. I'm the newest. Oh, but it's going to be bad. It's going to be deadly. So, I thought about what my birds were saying about the seeds. And I'm like, you got a point. Not only will they have seeds, but other birds will have seeds. I was thinking about the oranges. I said, these orange blossoms are so beautiful. I said, I can't believe this whole tree worked together as a unit to produce these beautiful flowers. And now these beautiful flowers, they're all going to give birth. Orange blossoms. I said, isn't that a dope name? Orange blossoms. Like you're going to blossom some, you're going to bloom, You're going to give birth to some oranges. I said, they're going to give birth to oranges. So that's what life is about. It's about life. And when it gives birth to those oranges, guess who's going to pick them? Insects, bugs, people. Going to make juice, orange juice with them. I'm going to get the nutrients because it was passed down to me from all of this life source on this tree. Oh, am I killing the orange by eating the orange? It all worked in my favor so that I can survive. So I'm not killing the orange. Right? Orange is merely sacrificing itself to give life. So everything has a time span. There's a time to live. There's a time to mourn. There's a time to die. There's timing. So everything has a timing, like a clock, which is the circle of life. So everything that happens to you happens for you. So sometimes things happen, the narcissist questions, oh, bad things happen all the time. People die, people do this, do that, do whatever, right? It's like when you think about someone who let's just say was going around killing women for no reason. They're bringing death into everyone. And then someone finds out this person's been bringing death into everyone, and this person now kills this person that's killing everybody, random people. Who's in the wrong? Because maybe this person, they were meant, not justifying their actions, but it's almost like, well, in a way we know for sure that there's, it kind of takes you away. It brings you into a world where you realize, well, if it wasn't for us knowing of this person, we wouldn't know that there's a lot of people just like him who are just as sick. He's bringing death into people. So there's the people out here that are deadly, right? So you doing the same thing that he just did, is it wrong? Because you did it so that more women could have life. Because if not, he would have done something to that last victim. You saved them from dying. So you did something meaningful with the purpose. You gave life. But should you pay the price for doing what you did, because it was still murder? Murder is still a crime. Because maybe subconsciously you murdered him. Who is to say that you always had a fantasy about catching a murderer or something? So now you got to go through what made this person go after this person. What makes you different from someone who, because you felt like you did it with a purpose and they were doing it without a purpose, but you still did the act itself, where someone else wouldn't have it in them to do the act, right? What brought you to that point where that was the first thing that came to mind? So what you will see a lot of times is that a lot of times people will commit an act, and even though they felt it was for the right reasons, sometimes the act itself, the ability to even commit the act itself, sometimes it stems subconsciously from your own trauma. So the act itself for both parties comes a lot of times from your own trauma. So the crime itself was murder. The penalties are different. One was death. You got the death sentence. The other, you got time, because you committed the crime, but it was a sacrifice. You were sacrificing yourself. You're willing to do the time. You're willing to pay the time to give life unto others. It's paying the time, the price for the time, because it's the circle of life. And maybe you you learn something about yourself. You need to learn something about yourself and what moved you to even do what you did, and to understand what makes someone behave that way, because that type of evil wasn't born that way. So that's what happens when you're healing. You're learning what made this person do this to me. So we can't really stay stuck on good and evil. We just have to be aware of evil so that we know, hey, anyone who speaks death, anyone who does evil, nothing good can come from it. We also go through situations in life so that we can have discernment when it comes to people, so that we can be aware of the red flags. Hey, can shit just happen? Can you just be walking down the street and just evil starts lurking around the corner, feeling like you're the perfect target? Yeah. But for the most part, everything we go through when we're dealing with people is so that we can learn how to use this information that we have to stay alive, to give ourselves lives, to give ourselves life. Meaning that people's words will no longer have power over you. You're at a different chapter of your life. Their words, their thoughts, how they feel about you, it doesn't even matter. So when you know that God is on your side, when you know, hey, I'm not a perfect human being and that's why I have to forgive. When you realize that it's easy to say you're going to always do the right thing, and you realize that, damn, it's actually not as easy as it seems, because you could be good for 90% of the time and then you mess up. So it teaches you not to harbor things in life, and that's why you choose life over death, because you keep learning and growing. Because as long as we have life, we're giving life onto others. It's like when mosquitoes latch on to you, because every breath that you're taking is creating carbon dioxide, and now that insect wants to be close to you because he's breathing off of your carbon dioxide, right? So you don't even realize that even breathing is giving others energy. Just you breathing. And this is why just you breathing irritates the narcissist demons. Just you breathing, they get irritated by you. They start talking about you behind your back. You don't even got to do nothing to these people. Just you breathing, you yourself just breathing irritates their demons. And it's not until I heard even my own family, right? And I'm going hard, wondering why everyone's coming down on me. The person that I'm going hard for, who raised me, I'm thinking like, why is everyone, doing this, that? It just wasn't adding up. It wasn't making sense until someone put the person that raised me on the phone, like they put them on speaker so that I could hear what they're saying, because I couldn't believe the stuff the person was telling me. So when I start hearing the conversation, I was shocked. I was like, why would they say something like that? The thing is, they were saying things that were flat out lies, and that's what had me shook. It's one thing to maybe say stuff to people that I don't want them to know. Like, oh, I don't want them to know that. But when people start flat out making lies about you, it really hits differently. Because you're like, damn, this person, there's nothing they won't say. Like, it make you look at them like, oh, it's not just them telling your business, but they even start making things up or putting words in your mouth. So that's when you have to be careful talking to these type of spirits, because they seem really nice. They might even have your back all the time. But pay attention. Some of the people that you even trust, sometimes you might tell them, oh, tell this, oh, who's over there? Oh, this person's over here. Oh, tell them I said this, and that. And they tell them something way off, and that person's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, no, don't say that to them. Tell them I said this. It's like, why is it so hard just to say what I told you to tell them? You're saying something else, which now that person thinks something else of you, right? Because narcissists are very good at mixing what people say up. They do it all the time, that they even start doing it unknowingly. And that's why you got to be careful, because these are people that they'll gossip to other people about you for no reason, or they'll bring you up into conversations that you don't even got nothing to do and put your name on it, put your name on there and stamp it. So our whole purpose, you guys, is to give life. So anybody who comes into your life and they spoke death into your life, and they just brought death into your life, just know there's no way that they won the lottery, because it's going to come with the price. Your blessings are yours to keep, but you also know you got to do the right thing. You can't carry hate for these type of people. You can't carry that frequency of hate, because they want you to be just like them. So sending you guys lots of love, light, peace in your healing. I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you guys want to book a session, you guys, my booking information will be on the description. And as always, I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.